this video, I'll be sharing with you a tutorial on how to cut this stylish backless waistcoat. So if this is something you like, kindly hit on the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up. So let's dive right into today's video. So to start, I've gone ahead to mark out my basic measurements that I need for this pattern, and which is my shoulder to bust, under bust, waist, and I added 4 inches for my basque length. So after this, I'm going to go ahead to mark the extension for the overlay or wrap effect on the blazer. So now I'm using about 4 inches. You can use from 3 inches to 4 inches depending on how you want it to be. Now I'll go ahead to rule out a straight line at this point. After I'm done marking that, the next step I'm going to take is to go ahead to mark my shoulder divided by 2. My shoulder is 7 inches divided by 2. And from that point, I came down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. So here I'll mark a basic neckline of 3 inches. And after marking that, I'll go ahead to connect. So here I'll find my chest line, which is my bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches, which I'll go ahead to draw out a straight line. So after I'm done marking this, I'll go ahead to place and mark my shoulder divided by 2. So I'll go ahead to connect it all the way up again. So next I'll divide what I have here into 2. Now come in by ½ inch. Go ahead to mark my bust circumference divided by 4. So all the measurement I'm taking is starting from this line after the 4 inches I marked. Now I'll place my curve to connect from here to that ½ inch and then go ahead to connect it to the upper part. Now the next step is to go ahead to mark your dart. And for my dart intake, I'll be marking my nipple to nipple divided by 2. Now my nipple to nipple is 7 inches divided by 2. I'm going to go ahead to mark 3.5 inches starting from the upper part to the lower part of my pattern. So after I'm done marking this, I'll draw out a straight line. The next step I'll take is to go ahead to connect from that midpoint, and I'll place my curve drill connecting from that point to the bust point of my pattern. So this is what I have on this point, and I'll blend here out. After blending here out, I'm going to go ahead to mark my darts. For my dart, I'll be using a basic dart for this, which is about ½ inch, and I'll be marking this on the waist, on the under bust, and from the bust point I'll come down by 1 inch. Now I'm going to go ahead to connect my pattern. So I forgot to mark my under bust dart, which I'll go ahead to do now. Now after I'm done marking it, I'll place my ruler connect, go ahead to connect this at the other side. So after connecting, I'll go ahead to place and connect, and also connect at this point of my pattern. So this is what I have here. So after I'm done connecting, I'm going to go ahead to extend this all the way to the lower part of my pattern, and I'm going to go ahead to extend here and also extend at the other side. So after I'm done doing that, I'll go in with my marker and I'll outline this. So the next step is to mark ½ inch on both sides for the dart, and I'll be blending this out. So you can use your free hand, or you can go ahead to use your pattern, your curve drill to do this. So at this point, I went ahead to use my free hand to connect this all the way down. So after I was done connecting at this point, I'll go ahead to use my marker to outline this part of my pattern this way. So after outlining this, I'll go ahead to insert my measurement. But before going ahead to do that, this dart of ½ inch on both sides, giving us 1 inch, I'll go ahead to replace it by the side of my pattern, and I'll go ahead to connect this all the way to the to the chest line of my pattern this way. So after connecting that, that is when we'll start inserting our body measurement. So for my bust is 33 divided by 4. It will give me 8.3 inches, which I will go ahead to mark. So all my measurement is starting after this line. After marking that, I'll go ahead to measure this dart intake I have here, which is 1 inch, half inch on both sides, then add my sewing allowance. I'll mark my under bust circumference. My under bust circumference is 28 divided by 4. I have 7. I'll mark it. Measure this 1 inch dart intake here, and I'll go ahead to replace it. After replacing it, I'll add my sewing allowance. My under bust and my waist measurement is the same, so I'll repeat the same process for this part and then go ahead to mark it. After marking it, I'll just come down by 1 inch here because I don't like my pattern hanging on my waist. Then I will go ahead to connect this all the way up and also extend this at the lower part. So after I'm done extending this, the next step I'm going to take is to go ahead to use my marker to outline. So after I'm done outlining this part, we are now going to go ahead to alter our pattern. So the next step you want to take is to go ahead to mark your neckline. So I'm using 3 inches for my neckline and I'll be using about 1.5 inches here. Now I'll connect this all the way to the side, blend up my pattern this way. So after blending this, you want to come down at least to your bust or 1 inch or half after your bust. Draw out your V neckline and I'll go ahead to curve this out. So this is the part that will be overlapping. So when it overlaps, it will be giving that V neckline at the front part of your pattern. Then I'll go in with my marker this way and I'll go ahead to outline. So after I'm done outlining, I'll come to this point and blend in my dart. From here now, I'm going to go ahead to connect to this side of my pattern, and from that 1 inch from the waist, I'll go ahead to connect this. So this is what I have. I'll just draw out my button to show that I have a button at that part, which you'll be adding your button and creating your buttonhole. So at this part, you add an extension to your neckline. So normally you notice that we have an elastic there. That means you can add a longer extension to your back, which is around 6 to 7 inches on each side, which will be giving you like 14 to 15 inches. Then you'll be inserting an elastic to it to reduce the size. So this way, this dress can easily fit anybody because of the adjustment that the elastic will give it at the neckline of the dress. So I'll just go ahead and cut this out. So I'll go ahead to cut this out. So if you have any question, go ahead to leave it at the comment section. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, go ahead to hit on the subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up, leave your comment at the comment section. So after I'm done cutting this out, this is what I have. Then you go ahead to join. Be cutting out 2 pieces, and when you place it, it will overlap each other. So next, we are moving over to the back pattern. So for the back pattern, I've gone ahead to mark out my basic measurements, which includes my shoulder to bust. After marking that, I'll go ahead to draw out the straight line. I added 1 inch. So the next step I'm going to take from here now is to go ahead to mark my nipple. So I'll be using 1 inch dart intake, just like we did for this at the front, and I'll be extending this all the way up and extend this all the way down also to the blouse length. So after this, I'll go ahead to insert my bust circumference divided by 4, add my sewing allowance, add my under bust circumference divided by 4, measure the dart intake, replace and add my sewing allowance. So just like I said, my under bust and my waist measurement is the same thing. So whatever I have on the waist, I'll take it to the lower part of my pattern and I'll go ahead to connect. So after I'm done connecting, I'll just go ahead to outline my dart lines. So for this dart, you can go ahead to cut it out, or you can just blend it out, or when you're actually sewing the dress, you can just go ahead to sew out your dart. So any method that is okay for you, go ahead to use that. So after cutting this, we are done with today's tutorial. If you haven't yet subscribed, please go ahead to hit on the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and join us in our next video. Thanks.